Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of NDB Media's The Sunday Night Review. We're reviewing the ARC. It is September 15th, 2024, and we are just going and blowing through this season of the ARC. I want to welcome everyone. You know who I am. I'm the most annoying person on internet today, and you know my name. What's up, Marsha?
Hi, Roger. I am doing great. What a fantastic weekend it has been. And I'm looking forward to discussing this insane episode.
It's 72 degrees. Yeah, I'm not swearing as much
Congratulations.
today. How you doing, Liz?
Well, earlier in the day I was doing horrible. I'm hoping this will brighten my spirits because I'm beginning to hate football season. I I have lost everything but 6 games that I've picked so far. I'm so far in the hole, you have to dig a hole to get me out of it.
Yeah, well, I have a bad back, so I can't dig that hole. So, and speaking of double vision, what up, young lady? Welcome to the party. Oh wait, oh, I wish I would have done the Bruce with the, when in a Die Hard. Remember the cop? Welcome to the party, pal. How you doing, Elizabeth? Is this your world debut?
This is my world debut, and I'm happy to be anywhere. Thank you very much. Thank you for
Thank you,
having me.
Elizabeth. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I
As we
was
know,
born in the
everyone in the
early
chat room,
80s,
where are you
and
from?
a little bit of everywhere. I mean, right now, though, I live in Maryland. Been here for the better part of a decade. Um, mm, I have was kind of a latecomer to the arc in that I didn't watch season one when it first aired. Didn't get around to it until actually like last winter when we found out that there was going to be a season two. We thought, well, let's watch season one finally, and really like it, and I've joined the groups recently and have been cracking jokes ever since.
Well, I thank you for joining the family. I thank you for spending time with us on Sunday night. And we're going to get to it, folks. We have finished. We are now 3/4 of the way through with episode
Mhm.
9, which we're going to be going over right now. We only have 3 left.
Mm.
So the 3 next ones are going to be absolutely awesome. I want to remind everyone to head on over to ndbmedia.net. Please like and subscribe on YouTube, Facebook, and all that stuff. We older folk, except Elizabeth, we older folk love the likes and subscribes.
I'm not as
So,
young as I look, but thank you, Roger.
yeah, well, I am as old as I look, and we'll go with that. So it's absolutely awesome, folks. We do appreciate you spending the time with us. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We do appreciate it. We already have one. The third Elizabeth already. Elizabeth Olivia Cooper has already given us a like this evening. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And don't forget, there's a lot of stuff on the calendar. Head on over to ndbmedia.net and you can check out everything, as well as subscribing to the channels. If you subscribe to the Facebook page, you'll see upcoming episodes. If you subscribe to the YouTube channel, you'll see upcoming episodes. So it's really, really a lot of fun. So, Season 2, Episode 9, Cycle of Violence, written by James DeLorean and directed by Hannah Espia Farbova. Woohoo! So, I have to welcome all of the fan groups on Facebook. Would you
Oh,
care to share with us?
well, I would say hello and welcome to the ARC series fan group, the ARC fan group, and I'm drawing a total blank on the third one, which is the ARC, the Outpost, and Leverage, and etc. fan group.
You
So,
are
right,
absolutely
close,
awesome.
close.
And boy, little do you know, because they did not warn you how maniacal I am, Elizabeth.
I wanted her to get her
Oh,
on here, not scare her off.
That's right.
I got some ideas from watching. I mean, you never.
The animal does not change. So it's all good. So let's go and get to it. Arc 54. Do you want to give us a quick idea of what you thought about the episode, or do you want to get to anything in particular? Because, folks, if you've been paying attention, episode 9, wow, absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
I'll say one word:
I find that hard to
Breathtaking.
believe.
It was breathtaking.
Breathtaking.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay. One word. Marcia.
That's a really good word. I like that word.
That's
Um,
a really good one.
I thought it was a game changer for sure. It
Ooh.
was, yeah.
So you would say game changer.
Well, yeah, if you want me to go into a little bit more, I think that it had it has to be watched more than once in my eyes, because of so much that happened. And JP warned us that they packed at least three episodes into one, and heck yeah, they. Ever since he said that, I kind of go back and I go, okay, this would have been the end in one episode, and it would have been the cliffhanger, and then the beginning of another. Oh yeah, here comes a third one right along. It's something that I have to watch first, as he recommended, and maybe on the next one start to take some notes and take screenshots and things like that. It was very deep.
Arc 54, you said it was breathless, right?
Breath.
Breathtaking.
Breathtaking. Okay,
Yeah.
let's see. Okay, breathtaking. All right. Elizabeth Bowman, how shall we refer to you as? Liz, Elizabeth, EB, what's it gonna
Uh,
Captain?
Keep
Dictator, so you can't take that one.
cook and bottle washer.
Ooh, that was
Uh,
pretty good.
yeah. Oh, next level. I mean, they've been saying all season that this season has been next level from last season, but this episode was next level of the next level. It was just, there was a lot.
I would say it was fantastic.
Mm.
Um, I was impressed by the episode. So we have breathtaking, game changer, next level, and fantastic. Not bad. Some of the things that I did like about the episode, I do have a list this time, Marcia. So I have as my likes Garnett,
Mm-hmm.
Lane, A Vega,
Mm-hmm.
and a two-worder, peace and humanity. Those were my standouts in this episode. I don't know if you have stuff, and I know Elizabeth, you may not be familiar on how we do some of the stuff, but there's no script that we follow anyway. Arc 54, what were some of the good things that you did appreciate of the episode? Because I do have one negative. We'll get to that later.
Um, the fact that there was a chance right off the bat to put down the weapons and actually talk. There was some discussion about it, but they were readily agreeable to do that. That was one of the good things. You could also see Garnett and Lane had developed very close. In fact, so close that at the end, it almost makes you think, was there something we didn't even see going on? Because I think that was probably Garnett's first true, almost romantic love, but actually first real love, maybe. I thought that was pretty nice that they put that in there. Um, some of the things that were a little strange was Kelly and Angus and her nanites. But I'll get to that later too.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Marcia?
I really like the pace of this episode. I actually thought the Kelly and Angus was kind of sexy, weird, kind of going on that I don't quite understand yet. I don't think. I think we'll find out more about the consequences of what happened. I loved Bryce and Lane's last interaction.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I watch it now, it gets me right in the gut. I love Garnett. She was outstanding, and having the live chat with her, I love it even more. Her performance. Uh, Vega, I really liked Vega.
Yeah.
I hope I liked his. He has this kind of voice. Felix has a very distinctive voice, and Vega has a distinctive voice as well, and I like that. And the writing I thought was exceptional.
Yeah, Lane and Bryce review their past decisions and issues that they've had because they've been at each other's throats for a little while. And Bryce says, Spence, are we all right? And Lane, not necessarily
Mhm.
smile, but he says, "We will be."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
knowing that the first time I watched it, I thought, okay, that's cool. I think I said that in one of the earlier chats, and that I figured we'll see later on they'll be pals again. They'll be doing their thing, or doing their bro dance. And but then knowing now what happened when I watched it the second time, I had tears in my eyes.
So did I.
Same.
Hmm. Okay, fair enough. Elizabeth,
Where to
some of the
start?
good things in the episode.
Oh, well, the Lane and Ian on the observation deck when Ian told him your father was the head of the clone project, and that blew his mind. And then also just the conversation about, well, it's just one long Tuesday. Everything is just one long Tuesday to me. You have these arbitrary days you make up. I thought that was hysterical. Um, Obviously, the loss of Lane. I mean, that was rough. And
Oh, so you
and the
have
bagel.
notes,
Yeah,
Elizabeth.
I
You
do
have
have some
notes.
notes,
All
but
right, let's put up or
even
shut
those
up.
are all over the place. So I'm trying to,
How many
We
pages of notes do you have? I have one.
Well,
And look at Arc 54. Roll their eyes. Two. There's three. Oh, baby. There's four.
I have to admit, I mean, normally, yes, I take some notes and like I watched the episode probably 3, 4 times over the course of the week. Um, but when I finished watching it pretty much live on Wednesday night, I was so blown away. I just sat there for a minute and then I'm like, wait a minute. And I went back and I watched the whole thing again and cried, through the whole thing. And then watched it again the next night and started taking some notes and then started crying and didn't get any further with my notes. So, and I thought I just need to leave it. Maybe I'll watch it again after our review and get you guys' insights and have a little bit more distance from it before I jump back in again. But yeah, it was a bit overwhelming. Just all the different feels. The from the fear at the beginning of them having weapons aimed at them to the uh, the the uncertainty of will Vega work with us on this, to the triumph of him actually agreeing, to him getting stabbed in the back by his own guy, and just yeah,
Yeah,
it was
literally
very emotional
Yeah.
up and down
stabbed in the back.
everywhere.
Literally stabbed in the back. Yes.
Yes, literally. So yeah.
One thing I have to say is lately nothing that I've kind of thought or feared was going to happen with the show happened. I was really off with a lot of different ideas, but I will say one idea that I did have last week, especially, was very strong and kind of came to be true, which I was glad for. That the GSA were the bad guys,
Yeah.
and because of a couple of things I think that we said last week, were Ava can't be involved in something that's evil, and there was a couple other things that were thrown in there too. And now to find out, yeah, it was them that were trying to stop the GSA, who was trying to do genocide of how many billion people? You know, it's like Bryce even had a hard time with that. He's like, billion with a B? And it's just, uh, I was glad to see at least there was a reason. You couldn't, I had a hard time thinking that these people that we've become so close and connected with were actually the bad guys. It's like they can't be wrong.
Yeah.
And it turns out they were actually the ones in the wrong, which kind of surprised me.
But the entire episode had one moment between Trust and Alicia, the Charlie
Oh God.
problem. Are they in fact wrong? Will history? They didn't get a chance to do what they allegedly were trying to do. They were talking about eliminating 6 billion people with a non painful bioweapon
Mhm.
so that others could survive.
Mhm.
I mean, these are absolutely horrid, horrid commentaries. And in the history of the world, this was happening in the 90s in Europe, by
Yeah.
the way. It's not a strange thing. It was happening in somewhere in the Sudan. But that was a little more extreme what was happening in the Sudan. That was just flat out, that was just murder. There was no ulterior purpose. What happened in Europe was my tribe will survive over your tribe. So it was absolutely horrid what was happening in the 90s. But there's peace in Europe, which is a great thing. And if you look at what has been happening, this episode is a reflection on what has happened in the world. And there are echoes when, and I'll get off the soapbox, when Garnett tells Avega, "Did you really mean it?" It was at that point when I saw it the first time that I genuinely had a tear come down. I did get emotional. And when I saw it the second time, I can't believe there was another tear that dropped, because she is trying to appeal to their better halves as humanity. And, yeah, and she's a clone. Isn't it funny? She's fighting for peace and she's a clone. you know.
Yeah.
So the entire episode with Garnett was absolutely amazing today. Just absolutely amazing. Or I said today only because uh, you know, I saw it again. I saw it, I think, on Friday, and I saw it again. So, hola, Papa Socks. Thank you. Yeah. So, thank you for that. We are spoilers, even though as we're talking about the episode, we never say spoilers. Um, the entire thing with Chris, not Chris. Well, it was Christy, but Garnett was absolutely amazing. Young lady had a chance to shine. They all did. I wasn't angry when Lane died. I was like, oh man, I should have seen that one coming because of what was happening in all the episodes
true.
prior, the groundwork that they
Kind of
that they
did.
were doing. I appreciate that. But everyone in the chat room, folks, why don't you let us know who you are and where you hail from? It's kind of nice to share in the misery. So it's kind of cool. As you all know, I'm in Southern California. ARC 54 is in NorCal, Northern California. Marcia is in
Florida.
yeah, you're in
Southeast.
Orlando, right?
No, I'm
Oh,
not that south. I'm in Northeast Florida.
oh, that's right. You said that. Yeah, I apologize. And Liz, you said you were in Maryland, right?
Yeah, Central Maryland between Baltimore and
Well,
DC. Hmm.
Central Maryland. What does that mean?
Yeah,
I
Maryland
live
is
in the
a weird
state of
squiggly.
California, woman. I
Yeah.
mean, we have a top, a bottom, and a central. Maryland, it's like just big
Maryland's
next to
like a
California.
squiggly thing, so yeah, but
Yeah,
still
okay.
in the middle, more
All
or
right.
less.
Oh, wow. You're in Washington, D.C. That is cool.
Hey, hi neighbor.
All
Hmm.
right. So, what are some of the things that really hit you on the episode? Because, like I said, I didn't exactly get mad, but I was like, oh man, I should have seen that. Damn it, damn it, damn it. I should have seen the whole thing about Lane coming. So I was disappointed in myself that I missed that. And ugh, I was like, oh, I should have seen that. Should have seen it. Anyone else?
I kind of did see the thing coming with Lane because I thought, how long can they make him play two characters like that? And I thought, well, these people are so good at turning things over upside down and sideways that they're not going to write out who you think they're going to write out. And normally it would be a clone who would appear for a few episodes and then just disappear, be killed off, sent somewhere else. I'm like, they're gonna pull the rug out from under us on this one. And I kind of figured it out last week, and I was like, I don't know when it's coming. I didn't know how it was coming, but I knew it was coming. And as far as the Roger, you might remember last week we were talking about the nanites and were they self-replicating. I don't know if you remember that discussion.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure, you don't. I can tell. But
She knows your tells.
yeah, and because I was saying, I think there's something fishy there. I think that Kelly is gonna need a reverse transfusion from Angus.
Angus.
Drawing a blank. Angus. And yeah, I guess they weren't self-replicating because she needed them back.
All right.
So
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we did talk about that.
I
Yeah.
saw that one coming, but a lot of other stuff in this episode, no, I didn't see it coming. So
The second Lane went down
yeah.
and the captain went down, I knew immediately what they were going to do because they had been leading up to, well, he was geared for cloning. He was made as a clone that doesn't reject for any blood type, you know. So the second both of them were injured, we knew only one would survive, and that Lane, you know, part whatever it was that wasn't working. In this case, it was the liver would be transferred over. So
Okay, let me interrupt you right there, Marcia. Hold that thought. Would you answer this one, Marcia? I do have a question. It's not pressing though. Are they where they should be given the FTL issues? And is Cat coming back?
Do you mean ship-wise? Is the ship hardy, or are they in the place in the universe where they intended to be? Because they jump so fast they could try to get away from Eastern Federation. I'm not even sure they know where they are.
they were already 5 degrees off course to begin with because of
light
other
years.
issues. Okay, fine. Light years, 5 degrees.
So I'm not even sure they know where they are right now, and maybe that's something that we're gonna
yes, the place in the universe.
get into next. And what was the second part? The second part was
the second part.
oh, it's Cat coming back. I think that what we've heard from crew and writers and whatnot, that well, we don't know as far as alternate universe, and as a regular I would say no from what we know. Oh yes, place in the universe. Yeah, I don't think they know where they are. I like the FTL bubble, by the way. I think that's pretty neat. I like that. Where they kind of
I can't believe. Sorry.
Yeah. There was
careful to show up next to Romulus.
It could very well be. I was going to say that I think they're behind schedule because they said at episode 1 they're 8 months away, and they've had a few stops here and there, so I think they're behind. And then now that they're 5 degrees off, now I'm going with ARK. They're 5 light years off course. Will or you all do the rewatch?
Oh yeah,
I've seen it 6 times already.
I know we talked about
a formal rewatch. I think
we wanted to do a rewatch, and I even told Marsh in the off season, but I ran out of time because of everything that was going on the network. I just couldn't squeeze it in, and we may be able to do it where I don't know if I want to imply some things, but look, we've had a lot of ARC stuff going on. I think when the season ends after a month or two, I think it'll slow down for a while. But we're gonna have all of our other regular programming. So there's stuff. Liz and Mark 54 and I are working on several historical episodes, real history stuff. And if Marsha wants to do a formal rewatch, you don't need my permission.
Hey, I'd be down for a formal rewatch after everything's over. Oh, they're interested in other programming.
I will take a quick moment. As you know, on Saturday mornings we have sports talk with the guys. On Sunday we have some other stuff. ARC review. The Forlorn Loser does a Saturday night program, me, at 9:30 p.m., which is becoming painful, sadly. And on Monday night, we tend to have what we call Monday Night in America, but we haven't had a few in a bit. Tuesday night, we have Fan of Access doing their program also. On Wednesday, the Jet Setter will be returning. We're going to be doing a test episode on Wednesday. You know him as Bob Nessoff. World famous Bob Nessoff is going to be doing a program on our network here. On Thursday, we have Travel Itch Radio, which is at 2 p.m. Pacific time. World famous Dan Schlossberg is on the network here. And then we do stuff throughout the week. Back to Galactica is returning. It looks like it, right, Liz?
Yeah.
On the 18th of October, I
October.
believe. Yeah, or
Hang
October
on, let me check.
17th, maybe. I don't know. But Back to Galactica. So we're going to start
24th.
on the
The
24th.
24th.
Thank you. Okay. So I was a week ahead. What a shock.
Why you
And
having the
we
first
have other
episode?
stuff that we're going to be doing as well. So I don't think we're going to be doing the Amazon series of the Rings of Power after all, because we're already like 4 or 5 episodes in. It's only an 8-episode run. But there's a lot of other stuff. There's talk of a $6 million man rewatch, which I think is crazy.
And
So
there's talk of V too.
I'm sorry.
There's talk of V
Oh,
too.
now V, yeah.
Oh
V,
yeah,
the
that's gonna
40th
happen.
anniversary of V, yes.
When? Oh, 40th
Yeah.
anniversary of V. I thought it passed.
Well, it's not kind of.
Okay. All right. Well then, yes, I definitely want to do V. So actually, may not have passed. That's interesting. Okay, fair enough.
So it would have
We
been
have a lot of stuff planned,
1984.
folks. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just saying you said 40th anniversary. I'm like, would that have been 1984?
The
Yeah.
V, the
That's a good one.
series.
Be the mini
Yeah.
series or
Yeah,
be the
the
series?
the series. The
All
weekly
right.
series, yeah.
Okay,
I
Very
think.
let's hear
rarely
this.
do people ask what that is, and people don't know what it means. NDB Media is been called Nobody Does Better. It's for the NDB Media Network, but it was from the very first website that I actually began. Mr. Institutional Arrogant SOB had a website. I owned it. I actually still own it. Noriega.biz. That's it. NDB is Noriega.biz. That's all it is. I got tired of saying, when we were on Blog Talk Radio, this is Noriega.biz radio. It got old fast, and I shortened it to NDB Media. And it's registered with LA County as NDB Media, so it does exist as an entity. Other people have given it names. Now, for some people who know from history, NDB is non-directional bearings also. So there's a connection to the Bismarck. If you guys want to look up non-directional bearings. That's what I like. It's the way you localize a signal. I like that definition a lot better. So, but anyway, I talk too much. So it's all good. But yeah, that's what NDB stands for. My ego.
He's not joking.
Marcia, I interrupted you.
Well, now I forgot what we were talking about.
That was my fault.
But I'm going to go to my notes and let me see what looks interesting to talk about here. Well, when we were talking about the flipping on the head of the GSA versus Eastern Federation, that I was not too surprised about. I like how they were explaining the whole thing so that we could kind of take a moment to really let it sink in how horrible some of the things that the GSA or some of them the GSA were planning. I'm not military. I know there are a lot of people who understand that need to know kind of thing, where you only find out what you need to know, and the people at the top make the tough decisions, and you do what you're told down here, because they had no idea of what the GSA was up to. Somebody knew up here, but they had no idea, so I can't hold them accountable for it personally. Yeah, I initially, when I found out Eva, however we're going to pronounce her name, was Eastern Federation, I was not happy to hear that, and I figured there was more, and I still think there's more to Eva than we know yet. I think there's more, because I don't think they stuck that storyline with her brother in and for nothing. I think there's more even than that Boyan was talking about that we're going to find out. Um, And one other thing, when I my brain thinks sci-fi, nobody's really dead in sci-fi. However, but listening to the people this weekend talk about the show and what's been transpiring, and Reese said yesterday, he said Lane is dead. He said, yeah, Lane
Yeah.
is dead. So I have come to carve that out of my brain and say the character of Lane is gone.
Is he really? Is he really though?
That's what Reese said.
His liver is inside of Vega. He's not dead. That's a lot more
That's
than
what I was
do.
gonna say. The liver part.
Oh.
Because in real thank you, Roger. In real life, you can take a part of a liver
And have it regrow. Yeah.
Yeah, so I
Regeneration.
didn't kind of get why they couldn't take
Thank you.
part of the liver.
Thank
That
you. I
bothered
couldn't
me.
understand that either. That's one thing that confused me.
Well, we're crossing universes now. Do they have a dermal regenerator? So I guess they
Oh, you don't need one.
You don't
Well,
need one.
Well, he still though would have needed kidneys and a spleen and 2 liters of blood.
Oh, you don't need a spleen to live.
Right. Oh, well, that's true. And kidneys you can get by 1 kidney. His brother
That's
could have
right.
donated a kidney. It's the 2 liters of blood. Why was he still bleeding? I mean, 2 liters is half of your blood. I mean, we have 4.5 liters, give or take. So why was he still bleeding that much after them having worked on him for however long to try and patch him up, stop the bleeding? And she said it was pouring out of him as fast as they could put it in.
But here's the thing: the parts that were damaged also helps cause the thrombosis to make the bleeding stop and for it to clot, and that was part of the stuff that he was damaged with. So no matter what they did, even if they had those types of medications on board and things like that, it'd still be really hard to stop that kind of bleeding that fast in that much of an emergent situation.
So
isn't it great to have a doctor on staff?
Nurse.
Whatever.
But yeah, so.
But yeah, that bugged me too.
Well, what really bugged me was the whole thing of Angus. Not that he was seeing Kelly everywhere, but there was a moment when he was in the observation lounge and then he ran out.
Yeah.
Where did he run out to? If you look at the conceived timeline, he was running throughout the ship for a very long time because they sat down for peace talks, had a major argument.
He was still running
hours, and the guy was still running around, and then he shows up in sick bay. And I'm like, nah, homie. No.
They pulled a Forrest Gump where he went out on his run and he ran until he finally got tired and went home.
Okay. Life is not like a box of chocolates. So that was pretty good, though.
Space is like a box of chocolates, too. There you go.
That was kind of funny. Yeah, that was kind of funny.
The whole realization that hit when she says, "We're the bad guys," that was good, and I do give it to the writers, the writing staff again, because they had teased on the EF being these butchers, these murderers and stuff, and we were only getting opinions from everyone. And how often does that happen in your workplace with your family? You hear mouthing off, and then when you start to have the facts laid out before you, yes, it's bad, but there's a clarity to it. I was fortunate in my workplace because I was a business agent from time to time, and I was able to visit other work locations and stuff, and I genuinely knew what had happened. And when I would hear employees talking about stuff, I'm like, oh, they're talking about my case, a case I handled as a shop steward. And I would just listen in. I'm like, wow, you were so wrong. They don't know anything, but they're going by rumor and innuendo. And I'm not saying that's the case, but I do appreciate how the writers did set up the whole thing about the Eastern Federation, that none of us really knew what they were alluding to. Before I go to someone else, guys, I'm jumping over to a rewatch party for another show Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak. I'll try to catch up on the episode and holla back soon. So thank you.
Have fun.
Yeah, thank you for that. Definitely. So,
but are they really the bad guys? still, I'm gonna play devil's advocate because
I mentioned,
somebody has to make the hard choices. If you're saving humanity, sometimes you have to make difficult choices.
Choices.
well, if we look at the way our world operates and we assume that they're operating 100 years from now, every decision is a political decision. So things are done for political expediency, and it's just unfortunate that that's the way things work. And someone did have to make a decision. They were going to eliminate 6 billion people.
Mhm.
Why? So that the rest could survive. But then the comments were, yeah, but who are the ones that were going to survive?
The
The
GSA
GSA.
picked them
billionaires,
all.
the
Right.
well-to-do, and all that.
Mm.
So
Were they though?
that's a very old
Yeah,
story.
GSA picked them.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, when they were talking about it, well, this is when they were having the conversation when they mentioned the Charlie problem, and it was great how Trust was just Spartan-esque, and he was just, yeah, that's the way it is. They would have made my job a lot easier.
Yeah, that was kind of.
Okay, but he is who he is.
Yeah, he's very Malthusian.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
very good. Thank you. I had forgotten about that.
Yeah.
Lane learns that his dad's plan was to murder billions, and they commented the GSA decided who was to live and die. And then that's when Garnett says, and there was a little bit more. These are shortened notes, but Garnett says, if true, we're the bad guys? But it was a question.
Yeah.
So,
In every
Well,
disaster movie and of epic proportions, like the movie, where the Earth is going to be destroyed, from When Worlds Collide, the old 1950s movie, there always has to be decisions about who, and there always have to be they're always try to be based on humanity and the furtherance of humanity and what we need to make humanity survive into the future. So, when you said political, that's because they're in power, but there's also the humanity part of it. And from what my understanding is that they tried to bring in teachers and people like that, and they so it wasn't just yes, there were the trust people in his corporation, but there were also altruistic ones who had other reasons for bringing people onto their ark ships for the furtherance of humanity as a whole, kind of thing. So are they the bad guys? And is it so cut and dried? Is it black and white?
I'm with you. I don't think it's all that black and white either. I mean, when you think about the episode where the other you, where they were all had an alternate character, Trust was the nice guy, and yet
Hmm.
Lane's father was still alive, which would lead you to think that they did kill those 6 billion people. They were
Mm-hmm.
successful. So was Trust really that nice of a guy? Even though Kat thought he was a nice guy, Katrina thought he was that nice of a guy. Um, and then Garnet saying, "Are we the bad guys?" And then she goes out onto the observation deck to talk to Kimmy, and Ian overhears them and says, "Oh, you want to know if the GSA was the bad guys?" Well, yeah, but so is the EF.
Both
The
sides
way he
were.
saw it, they both had their hands dirty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
yes.
does it matter who starts it, who finishes it, or what, or is it what goes on in between that matters the most? And it's like it's all of it, really.
yeah, as a matter
Mm-hmm.
of fact, Kimmy argues that peace talks are a mistake.
Yeah.
And that's where
Mm-hmm.
Ian did come in a little bit later. He said both sides did bad things. And that's where it
Mm-hmm.
clicks on what's on Garnett,
Right.
that you
Mm-hmm.
are perfect
Yeah. He's like,
to
oh no,
mediate.
I want to finish my book.
I want to
Um,
finish
I
my
want to finish
book.
my book and my comment. Well, vodka, potato vodka. Have you tried potato vodka?
I thought it was funny in that they said, well, we'll send, Strickland over and we'll send Kimmy. I said, Kimmy's an EF hunter. Looking back, I'm like, ooh, that might have been interesting. That
Mm-hmm.
she gets aboard the ship. What harm could she have done? Actually, she would have destroyed the piece.
Mhm.
Probably.
Mhm.
Having the opportunity to be aboard an EF ship, she might have tried to
Mhm.
destroy it. That's
Mhm.
yeah, you never know. So that was a smart move by Garnett, and there was a lot of smart moves by her. I did appreciate when Avega was leaving, and or before they were going to leave, and Garnett just says, "Look, if you do what you're going to do, this is where we're going to go." And she explained it out, and she grabbed his hands, as she mentioned in the interview. She didn't
Yes.
see that working, but it did work.
Yeah, very
It did
well.
work very well. And I noticed that his thumbs were right there on her throat to, he was a thumb away, say a finger away. He had him in the right spot, right, nurse?
Yes.
Yes. And he could have ended it quicker than you could say, wait. And she made it very clear. Says, if you're going to do this, just start with me. If this is where you're going to go, just start now. And after all that happens, I did appreciate where Avega said, "You opened my eyes in a way a lesser leader would not have." And I believe it was just a moment before where I think the captain had said something to the effect of, "Oh, well, wait a minute, where is it? Where is she this difficult or this strong-willed or whatever?" And Bryce says,
And she
"Oh,
always this forceful.
is
Oh,
she
you
always
have
this
no
forceful?
idea.
Oh, you have no idea."
Mhm.
That was oh yeah, it was a little bit before that. Yes, because it was I actually wrote the entire conversation down because they start fighting. Ian says, "Can we grab some snacks before you guys go?"
I know. That was funny.
That was kind of funny. I understood what he was trying to do. And Garnett says, "You can't give up that easily. Kill me. This endless cycle of violence will continue. So go ahead and kill me." And you said you didn't want to contribute to the extension of the human race. Did you mean it or not? You know? And then that's where he says is she always this forceful? Oh, you have no idea. And then Garnett details her plan. Obviously, I didn't write it all out. And Vega says, we owe it to humanity to try peace. And then Angus makes it to med bay. Kelly awakes. And then Angus leans in because everyone thinks that something's going to happen between Angus and him.
Did you
And
notice the music swelled just like it was getting ready for a kiss too?
yep,
Mhm.
I sure
Yes.
did.
Yeah.
And
And then
then
it went
Pretty
all
good on
in.
that one.
he bites her, and I was like, oh, okay, Angus, didn't know you were into that stuff, but hey, whatever, good for you. And then I guess the nanites burst through and make connection.
Well, he
Um,
bit himself too.
Yes.
And they bit his own lip.
okay, well,
Yes.
sorry, I wasn't looking at his lips. I apologize. I was looking at hers. Sorry.
Be
So
sure to tell her father that.
I wasn't paying attention.
I pleasure.
I've been wanting him to answer the whole thing with the shovel, and he will not answer
He
it.
will not. Nope.
That's fine. I just thought it was kind of funny because, as I said, as a frustrated writer, you do things.
Mhm.
It made me a little embarrassing. It just happened that way. They came up with an idea. What tool would they use? A shovel. They're in the, right there in
Mhm.
the flower bay or whatever it is. So, John Lovell says, "Poke yourself, Satan. I'm sorry. You know what? I apologize. It's me. I'm dumb." But um, as a writer, when you include someone in your story, there's a reason for why you write. So I just used a shovel to crack it over her head. Was there any subliminal meaning? And both have ignored it. So I'm not gonna go any further with that. I just thought it was funny. So right after that, um, Kelly awakes, and then Angus gives his nanites. So did he give the nanites back
And what
completely?
nanites went. He didn't. He
Yeah.
didn't give them it.
He
They
just kind of flew
left.
out.
They would have ripped his lip out
Oh,
and just.
So are they all gone because they're not self-replicating?
yeah,
I think
so.
they're all gone.
So is his vision bad again? What's going to happen because he
No,
doesn't have?
That's a
his skin was
question.
healed, I would think.
Yeah.
Like
Is he
it would
healed?
reverse the healing that they had done, but it
Mhm.
also, I mean, any future injuries he has, he's now on his own, right? That's my thought.
And that kind of answers a question I had a few episodes ago is why not give Kelly's blood to a lot of people? Well, we know that
Sweet
can't
Kelly blood.
happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The good Kelly blood. We
Now the
can't.
nanites are
Sweet, sweet
gone,
Kelly blood.
but he still got the blood. Was the blood any better,
Well,
or was it just the
wasn't the
nanites?
blood because of the nanites that was good, or was it the blood that
The
was
nanites were
separate from the
in the blood,
nanites? Yeah.
and
So
the
So it's
blood's going
just
to
the
be gone
nanite.
now anyway.
It's
Yeah.
not the blood.
it's the
No.
nanites in the blood.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm
Okay, well
thinking.
then he's blind again.
Which
And
makes
that blood wouldn't last anyway because, blood remakes itself every 28
So
days.
then
Right.
how
So,
long
right,
are these
right.
nanites gonna live? Oh, for the love of God, we've gone down the rabbit hole.
Well,
you
here I'll make
started
it
it.
worse. I'll make it worse. You remember Kelly when she first gave Angus his transfusion? She said, "I'm O negative. I've donated blood to my mother several times."
Hmm.
Well, did the nanites go to her, and how did they get back? And I don't know that I want to know if they were biting each other. So just thought I'd throw that out there.
See,
These are the weird things I think about. Welcome to my brain.
I had not. I was gonna say I had not seen that through. Duh. Nor had I thought it through. But now I will.
And now you can't unthink it.
unless it's like you said, once the nanites go and heal, then
Mm.
they're no longer needed for. They were no longer needed for Evelyn, as I call
Right.
her.
Right. I mean, they may have healed the damage that was, or at least temporarily healed the damage that the Clampkins was causing, but I don't think they could heal the Clampkins itself
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
otherwise, why would she have needed multiple transfusions?
Exactly.
So,
The scene with Garnett in Medbay where she's pleading with the doctors,
mm,
trying to make a deal with them. Why don't you switch patients? Do all that stuff. That
Beautiful.
seemed very real,
yes.
and it was well done. I mean, Christy Burke. I mean, look, she's good at what she does, but this was a tour de force for her.
Next level.
There is no doubt. And I suppose it's odd because even though I have not met her personally, as was discussed on Friday, but I've had the privilege of speaking to her so many times that it does give a different feeling to the episode watching. It really does. I have to admit. And you guys saw the episode. She she got emotional
Oh,
on this
yeah.
episode. It
Several
meant
times.
a lot to her. And it was amazing. She was just incredible in this.
And it
I'm
meant
glad.
a lot to her that it meant a lot to us, that it got
Oh,
through to
yeah.
us. I
Yeah.
felt that.
Like I said, I appreciated her trying to be the peacemaker.
Hmm.
And it didn't, you know, and she was, yeah, that appealed to me. And it worked. It worked on many levels. Ava's role in this episode, there was a little bit of it, but each scene there was quite a bit. She's the one that ruined the bedtime story for everyone in the GSA
Mhm.
because they had a different opinion. And then she said everything straight at the very end. She got slapped by her friend that she knew. Said, "Oh well, you know how Florencia is. Had you come over, but you decided to stay." Um,
Mm.
what she said worked. Everyone had a moment. I appreciated the moment. It was almost Star Trekian when Garnett goes to see Trust. He said, "Hey, remember that idea about that little weapon?" He says, "Oh, it's about time you asked." I thought it
Yeah.
was great. It was almost like in the Doomsday Machine, where Kirk
Hmm.
is seeing the ship fighting. He's like, "Oh, what I would do for phasers right now." "Oh, come, you got them. I recharged them." And Kirk's line, you just earned your pay for the week, Scotty. It was that moment. And I'm sure there were others, but
Hmm.
I equate the enemy in the next generation when the Romulans were coming up and they're like, well, we want our guy who had navigational problems and escaped. Oh, he's dead. You're on the verge of war.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm not saying they took it from. No way. It's just it rhymes and it felt. There was a lot on the line this episode, and it was really, really well done. Those are some of the things that really stand out for me. I did notice that the teaser for this episode was one of the longer ones. Did you guys notice that? It ran about 4 or 5 seconds before the time. I didn't mean that. It ran about 4 or 5 minutes before
Got that,
the
yeah.
title came in.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes.
It was
It
one of
did.
the longer ones. And that's again where Eva was talking about how she got aboard, how she and Harris. So we joked about this last year. How many people swindled their way to get aboard Arc One?
Seems like a lot of them, doesn't it?
How many are the legitimate ones? Are they all the ones that are working in the bowels of the ship, the lower deckers? That's kind of messed up, man. So, those are some of the things that I think about.
She's so glad she's here.
Oh my!
Yeah. She's looking for
Welcome,
an-
Elizabeth.
I'm looking the wrong way. There you go. Okay.
There you go.
No, I'm just taking it out on you today because it's your first day. I want to welcome you. And if you can get through me on the first day, you're fine.
Yeah.
I actually went after Marsha her first day as well, didn't I?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
did,
you
but I
did.
wasn't a real jerk, was I? But it was obvious I was picking on you.
That was my fake laugh.
That was her fake laugh. Yeah, I got that.
Oh my!
Well, you're here. Please proceed then. I will have to evaluate my cruel. No, I won't. I won't. So,
Can I say something that just occurred to me when you were talking, and you were you're reminding us about Ava and her friend, and she said, "Well, if you had come over, then you would know how my daughter was doing."
Right.
Children.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Eastern Federation's got kids on board.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. It just occurred to me. I didn't catch that.
you're welcome.
So we are going to see some kids, maybe.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
We still have to find out where his daughter is, Felix's daughter.
Yes.
You know she's out there somewhere.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. The way this writing staff has been going, it might be
Maybe she was
traumatic.
adopted by the EF.
I'm
Maybe
sorry?
she's not-
Ooh, good
Ooh.
She's
thought.
on the EF ship. Who knows? 'Cause remember, they took off after Arc One as well. So,
Sure.
so
Who's to say they didn't grab up who they considered to be survivors that were well enough to go with them?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. I guess
Watch
my
her daughter be Felix's daughter.
Say again.
Watch her daughter be Felix's daughter.
Felix Florencia. No.
Well, no, because her name is
I
Catherine.
know. I was just.
Okay.
Like
As
Beauty and the Beast. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. It was wonderful how we got clarity now. There was no doubt about what they've been alluding to over the last season. And when Ava explained it, put it all on the table. It was good. Being that they're non-military, it is frustrating how these people just jump with accusations after accusations. That I'm finding to be a tad tedious. It's like, come on, guys. You're looking at the survival of the human race. Get past it. I know that they all went through it, but it's like if there's a tiny bit of accusation against someone, these people go into full hate mode.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like nothing personal, but if had I been in command, and the minute Lane mouths off, I'm like, yeah, you need to mind your position. Okay, and if you're going to mouth off again, you're not going to hold the position that you're going to have. You have to keep it to yourself.
I noticed you're pointing at me, Roger.
Oh, you make you feel uncomfortable.
Ooh.
Get a
Oh,
little
that
right here.
that was just an ooh, okay, that was not directed at you. That was me in Garnett's seat
No,
looking at Lane.
and
Oh,
I understand
wow.
what you're saying there, but I mean, I'm also thinking about Lane and the fact that, I mean, it was his father who was murdered, you know, and I mean, other people talking about the people that had been close to them that had died of clampkins, and that's why they were mad at Trust in season one, and then the people who were, you know, I mean, Alicia is saying her mentor had been killed by EF, and I mean, it's not like these were just baseless, random accusations that they heard from somewhere. Their lives have been affected by
Okay.
the
fair-
actions. And I wonder about Ristich, the guy who's ended up stabbing his own superior, um, and also, you know, killing Lane. That, you know, was his father or somebody else or his whole family or who knows murdered by the GSA.
It could very well be. It's been
You know,
established
it's
on both
one thing
sides.
to say, yeah, they're not military, that, you know, there's these accusations, but then when you start thinking about the relationships, the people that were important to them that were killed,
And I
it
clearly
takes a different
understand that,
flavor.
but they're allegedly the adults in the room. Act like it. Seriously.
Yeah, yeah.
If the one moment something comes up, they flip out. It's like you cannot. This is the survival of the human race here.
Yeah,
So
sometimes, well,
that does grate on me. That the moment there's an accusation, it's just they flip out, and it's like calm down. I number one know that when you're in negotiations with management, for instance, the minute you blink, the minute you flex, uh, you're giving up your situation. Why do you want to give your potential enemy something to use against you? Think about it. So it's just it does that does grate on me that man, the minute there's an accusation, they just flip out. But it's okay. It's all right. So
Help me understand something. People, Roger, keep saying that this that this is not a military ship. Now, as far as weapons, that may be true, but if it's not military, then why are they called lieutenant and captain, and why do they have rank? And it
yeah.
is
It
military.
was
well,
partially
NASA.
military at the beginning, and I rewatched season one recently again. It was military and civilian. Like the
Yeah,
GSA was the military portion of the program,
together.
but then there
Yeah.
were also civilians on board
Mm-hmm.
to carry out the mission.
Yeah,
Because
Strickland
Mm-hmm.
himself said, "I'm security, but I am civilian."
yeah,
Well, but he was the only one. He was the only one of the senior officers, kind of, who survived. Who said that the others all had military title, or
NASA
not
has
military title, but I mean, but they had military rank, order, duties. It seemed to me.
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I, I don't understand
Well, I
But
mean,
even
some
if
why.
you
did.
go
I
on
mean,
regular ships today, they're
hmm,
not necessarily with military rank, but they do have rank. You have
yes.
your captain, you have your lieutenants,
Well,
and it's
that's
not
true. Captain
necessarily military.
Stubing, he
Oh my
wasn't
God, the
military on
love
the
boat?
Love Boat.
Seriously, the love boat? Oh.
Thank you. Now I understand everything.
So next time I go out and drive, I will make sure that my daughter is my executive officer. So I'll
But
make
I
sure
was
to do
thinking
that.
that may have some reason why everybody's kind of stabbing each other in the back, because Lottie didn't listen to Kimmy, and she's going against her, and then you've got a Vega and his person. Nobody seems to be paying attention to rank.
Yeah. And Lottie, I think, was moving way too fast
Mhm.
because she just got impatient. So I was like, okay. But uh, yeah.
Well, thank you for that. I understand more
You answered
about
your own
that.
question. I did appreciate how Trust's weapon did work the first time around. It was really good.
Mhm.
It was an EM pulse, which was really good. And I'm
it
glad
was
he didn't say EMP, whatever wave or whatever. He said an EM pulse. I said, oh,
Pulse.
very good to the writers. They got it right. And by the way, I don't know if anyone is actually paying attention, but it looks like what I announced on my Facebook page. yesterday. It's going to happen. And in the science, this is real world stuff now. I'm actually going off topic. That the CME, a lot of the NASA, the Chinese Space Agency, Roscom, and all these others, the CME is it's gonna be a direct hit on Earth tomorrow. But
Wonderful.
other
More internet
people are
time.
saying that it's gonna be, it's gonna like skim the surface. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know this, but there was an event yesterday about noon o'clock Pacific time that the X-ray pulse hit the Earth.
Yeah.
There was a significant event. It was a 4.4 event. That's pretty big. So the coronal mass ejection is going to hit Earth tomorrow. I don't know at what time, but
Where?
Make sure you duck.
I'm sorry. What was that?
Don't forget to duck.
Oh yeah.
Deep Impact. That was the movie I was thinking about 10 minutes ago.
Oh my God, that was a phenomenal movie. That was impressive. So, but anyway. All right. So what else? What else did you guys want to comment on this? I know we've actually gotten over quite a bit of it.
Well, I thought that Lane's death was too fast. I wanted a little lingering, a little bit, just a little bit, because he goes Sharon, and then that's it. And I thought they're not even going to let him whisper anything or nothing. And he's like,
It's more poignant that way. He dies with her name on his lips.
it was
How much more romantic you get?
I guess that's why I missed that. I wasn't looking at his lips again.
The Sarin ship has sunk.
Wow,
Yeah.
that was too quick for me.
I know, and I thought about in the last couple of days. If you remember in season 1 where he was left behind on, or he insisted on staying behind on Arc 15 so they could get away, and she started arguing with him about, no, you should go, and he said, "Are you trying to deny me my heroic sacrifice?"
Yes,
He had the chance to deny him at this time.
good
And
point.
the noble crap. You remember when they had the first drink together, and her first toast was to noble crap, to your father, because trying to continue the noble. His death ended up serving the noble crap that he wanted to live for. So at least there was that.
It was Ian, the one that made it very clear to Garnett. This is who we are. This is what it is, and he fought for a Vega. So how apropos it would be for him to give his liver in this endeavor, because he believed in it. So, yeah, because Lane didn't argue with her about the peace, mediation, right? He was with her on it.
Well, I mean, at first he was kind of, at the beginning he was like, we don't, we should, they're gonna fire on us. We need to fire on, we need to do something first. And he was upset when she said, no, you're not going into peace talks. Your father was killed by EF. But yeah, he did come around, it seemed like, especially after Ian talked to him about his father.
I like the fact
Go ahead, sorry.
I like the fact that Ian had made the point when he looked at the picture that Lane had of his father. He's like, okay, that makes sense. That was the man we constantly saw walking through and looking at windows of all the clones.
Yes.
I don't think we're ever going to get an answer to whether it was Lane a clone or was Lane the original. I don't think we're going to get an answer to that.
I think we did get an answer. Because Ian said, "Oh, I know who those people are. And they're the ones that were running the project." And then he says, "Oh my goodness. I wonder if that's why she couldn't have children." That whole conversation that they had, and I did not write it all down, but he said, "You know what? They probably chose you." He said, "Well, they owned us.
Yeah.
You were the one that were chosen." I mean, nothing personal, but I think we got more clarity out of it there. I don't think it was vague. I think it was pretty clear that he was just, if there were four of them, it's like eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Oh, there, Mo. Let's take Mo. I think they just chose him.
But then that wouldn't make him the original.
No.
I thought you were saying that
Oh, and I
Roger, that he
apologize.
was.
I may have missed what you had said earlier.
Oh, that
I
was
just think he was a clone. Just
Oh, okay.
okay.
yeah.
So does that mean the original is still out there somewhere? Are we going to have a fourth Lane?
No, it would be a fifth one.
Well, okay.
Two of
I'm
them
not
died.
not talking about the two that died. I'm
And then you have
talking about
Ian and you have Spencer. So
you
there'd
have
be a fifth
Ian,
one.
you have Spencer, the new one who might be the original, and then you also have the alternate in the alternate universe.
Right.
So Reese has played a total of 4 because the other 2 don't count because they were dead and we never saw them. If there's going to be another Lane come on to be the original.
Okay, well, fair enough.
What would be
I
the
was
fifth?
counting
Yeah.
the real bodies that we know of. Ian's 1, Lane is 2, not in that order, but I was just counting those. And then Daniel and the other
Danny
one.
and Fletcher.
Thank you.
Fletcher, yeah.
Yeah, and I remember Daniel because of my middle name, so sorry.
Fletcher, sorry. I took Danny.
So that's why I counted 4. So if there's another one, that would be a fifth one. So that's where I came up with my number. Sorry, I wasn't counting alternate reality guy. So another thing that I appreciated on behalf of the writers, when Garnet ran to the bridge after the stabbing took place, when she looked at her hands, they were bloodied. She had blood on her hands, but not in the way that most people would think. She didn't have blood on her hands because of something that she had done. She had blood on her hands because of what had happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
She
he told
wasn't, yeah. And it was different because oftentimes when we get an image of that in literature or in television, it's because your hands are bloodied because of what you've done. And this was, she had the blood trying to reach out to them. She had the blood of Vega, Lane, and whoever else. Yeah.
She
That
was also shaking tremendously during that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Chrissy did a
slams her
really
hand
good job with
after.
that.
This was a tour de force by the young lady.
yes.
Lane did very well as well. So did Bryce. So did everyone.
Everyone brought it.
I didn't like that moment where Alicia kind of broke down a little bit on the bridge, and then Bryce gives her a hug right in front of the camera. And then when they like click, FaceTime answers automatically, and they're right in the middle of an embrace. As the other captain, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Is this life and death, or are you guys making out in front of the camera? I mean, I would have said that as the other captain. So I was like,
Is that what you thought?
Bryce embraced Alicia right there, and then when the communication clicked on, they were looking right at the camera. You didn't see that?
I saw it. I just don't follow your train of thought in
all right.
that matter. I appreciate it and tolerate it.
Love.
There was a kernel of truth in that line. Okay. All right. I got it. Fair enough. Okay.
Well, Roger, you were making you were talking about some alluding to some classic sci-fi, and we know that Dean and Glassner talk about this as being classic sci-fi, and one moment that you talked about was when Garnet was telling Vega, well, you'll kill us and we'll shoot you, and then we'll all be gone. It reminded me of one of the original. You know which one I'm talking about.
Go ahead. Yes.
Where Frank Gorshin is there, and there's black on one side and white on the other side, and they cannot come to grips with that, and they can't stop fighting, even though both of their planets, those their people have destroyed each other, and
Yeah.
even when they go back home, they end up chasing each other into oblivion, and it's so sad. And that's what that part reminded me of.
Okay,
So thank
excellent.
you for that.
I jumped the gun. I thought you were talking about that planet where they were faking the war, and they
Oh,
had to.
that's another similar
That's
instance.
where I
That's
thought
true
you were
too.
going.
Yeah.
But I did appreciate your
Mm-hmm.
let this be your
Be
last
your last
battlefield?
battlefield.
Yeah, the one that you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
And how absurd, how ahead wasn't that? Sorry, we're way
It
off. But
it
wasn't it
really
amazing
was.
how that episode was just so brilliant?
At the time that it was broadcast, it was
And
an
you know what?
incredible
That
time.
episode can play today.
It
Yeah. Oh,
could.
very easily.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It is
Yeah.
amazing to me how absurd the anger and the hatred that they had. And they made it plain to see.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, wow, don't you see? He has it on his right side. I mean,
When I first saw that episode, my mouth was open. I thought, "Huh? What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
And it was brilliant. I thought it was brilliantly done.
yes. And there is
And
a little bit of that in this episode here.
because we're the same, we want the same thing. We're trying to save humanity. Why are we trying to kill each other?
I, I don't do it as often, but if you have you guys seen the movie The Cable Guy?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Remember he says, I am a child of the movies, I'm a child of
Mm-hmm.
television. I am a child of television. And no, I don't have a
Mm-hmm.
spider that crawls across my face when I'm in my car. Elizabeth, have you seen the movie? You didn't say anything. Cable
I
Guy.
don't think I have. No,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Jim Carrey.
I'm
Yeah.
Jim
not a
Carrey.
Jim Carrey fan.
Oh, I
Long
can see
story.
why. All right, fair enough.
I,
But you know, I I have always paid attention to stuff like that. I'm into the drama stuff. And Liz or Arc 54 has probably had it with me because there are certain programs that I bring those connections, Marcia, in. Yeah, I think you've seen them, you've heard them. Where and House of Dragon, whenever there was a scene that reminded me of something, remember? Look, there she is. She's closing her eyes.
He's nodding.
I would do that. Like when someone would give like a speech or whatever, oh, this was Lord of the Rings, King Theoden, storming whatever. I would do that. So I've done it less on the arc this year, but there have been moments that have reminded me of stuff. There's a lot in this episode that I harken, as I mentioned, the the original series episode, also the enemy, the third season, the next generation. I mean, there was some important stuff that were on the line here and it was really well done. I feared, oh, when they said time's up, that reminded me of the moment when Gorkon died and he's telling Kirk, don't let it end this way.
Yeah.
Um, I remember watching the theater and I was blown away. Had I seen this in the theater, I think I would have reacted the same way as well. There was a lot of good stuff. I felt for the safety of the Ark crew. I didn't know what was going to happen. It looked bad, and that's phenomenal writing. It's
And
fantastic.
the EF
Next
has really
level.
cool jackets.
Oh yes, they got
oh,
great uniforms.
I love the font that they used for their names because Vega having two A's in it, and it looked like it started and ended with the anarchy symbol because of the way that A was written. It was
Mm-hmm.
very, it was Ivana Vasquez, she did really well with the costuming for them and
Yeah.
all the design, the fist, all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not so much into the GSA uniforms, but I am into the EF uniforms. Sadly, they did look good.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't like them. It's just it's a onesie. I don't want to
So
wear a
she
onesie.
explained why, so it can be altered and it can be
Yes,
altered
yes. No, it
slowly.
was brilliant. It was great. It's just it's a onesie.
Onesies.
So I like the EF uniforms. That was a great point, ladies. That was absolutely awesome. So, was there anything else that you ladies wanted to go over or point out or comment on? Which is all the same.
I really appreciated the live chats giving more depth and a place to vent and place to understand. I thought it was very helpful, and I'm appreciative for those.
I have to tell you, I was blown away by Christy Burke wanting to be on the network for this episode, and that was unreal. It led to this, and
Good grief! What is going to happen in episode 10?
Oh,
I think I
no.
need some comet water next to me. Something.
I don't know if I commented, but I had said I thought it was going to be a 2-part episode,
You
almost.
did say that.
Yeah, and I'm holding to that, but it's all serialized. But I think these two stories are going to be together. There are ramifications, but Vega, he is an enlightened leader that understands. Remember, he said earlier, I don't want to contribute to the annihilation of humanity. That is an enlightened individual.
That was awesome.
And I did appreciate how Garnett threw him a massive bone when he said, well, we received intel that the GSA was going to Proxima and they were going to Ross. She's like, oh, so why Trappist? Says, well, you guys aren't going there.
Yep.
Oh.
Tell you this, buddy.
I have news for you. But she revealed it.
Yeah.
And when I say she threw him a bone, it wasn't to satisfy the dog. It was like, hey, dude, they're already there. So he appreciated, even though it didn't show up, I think, the story. I think it was there that he's like, oh, wow, we're going to take what's ours, And then her move thereafter was just phenomenal. I didn't see that coming. How Garnett was like, so humanity will die. So I loved it. Did you really mean it? Oh my God, it was so real when she said,
I
did
know.
you really mean it? On the second watch, when I started watching it at 3 o'clock this afternoon, it hit not as much as the first time, but it still did. It was very well done. I want to give a shout out to Aisha. Thank you, Aisha, for the like on the page. We appreciate that. Thank you. So, anything else? We've actually covered quite a bit of. And even I was like, duh. How did they follow us through hyperspace? Oh, I'm sorry. This is not The Last Jedi. How'd they follow us through hyperspace? The shuttle. Of course, the shuttle has a beacon on it. I'm sorry?
I said that was kind of a given.
Yeah, but again, they overreacted. They're accusing Ava of this and being this. And it's like, dude, will you just chill? I mean,
Eva was the low-hanging fruit.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Eva was the low-hanging fruit. Hey.
But, okay, you and I have argued about, and I'm the one bringing it up now, the Juno project and the test tube. I'm saying they're actually going to get it on. You're like, no. You're saying it's going to be just a test tube. I'm like, okay, because you say it's 100 years in the future, right? Okay, 100 years in the future. They had LoJack. They had LoJack on the shuttle. If they still have LoJack, what? What?
Oh boy.
Funny, all right? I made my point. Sorry, Marsha.
That wasn't the reason they're laughing.
Oh.
What happened? I didn't. Okay, put in the private chat. I didn't see it. Yeah, I must have said something that I don't know what I said.
No. It was the fact that you brought up a certain project and my reaction.
The Juno project, yes.
Yeah.
Because she didn't. That's why I said, I'm going to be the one to bring it up this time. Okay,
somebody better start making some babies soon. That's all I gotta say.
And like I said, I just believe it's going to be done in the traditional way. You believe it's a test tube. I'm like, no, but if they still have LoJack, they're going to. So, but it's okay. All right.
We got 3 more episodes to go.
1, 2, 3.
And at the way the timeline is working, we'll see our first child in about season 4 or 5.
Maybe at the end of this one.
Or,
Well,
or
well, I'm
maybe the
into the
movie.
test tube. I don't know. You never know.
Maybe the
Okay.
movie will be the Ark: The Next Generation.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh,
Ooh.
That is good. I like it.
I like the bravery of Glassner and Devlin to kill off a major character. Too often, a show will pull back from that
yeah,
because fans
yeah,
like a character.
yeah,
I respect that.
yeah. I mean, they did it in Stargate, of course. Then
Oh, Doc,
Michael Shanks came back
Fraser, and
and came back
Fraser.
and
Yeah.
came back, but we didn't know that at the time. So
Mhm. And what about Fraser?
that I didn't watch.
Oh,
Oh, I love Fraser.
No, it's okay. Don't worry. We are far after Frasier, so it's okay. Um, yeah, I'm disappointed. That's why I said when they killed off Lane, I was like, "Ah," I wasn't angry. I was angry at myself that I didn't see it coming because it was all the telltale signs, and it's just I was really mad at myself. I wasn't angry at them for killing the character off. I should have seen this coming, and I didn't. That was good writing because I saw the plot point. I saw everything, and pendejo up here didn't. So when he died, I was like, okay, ugh, I was angry at myself. But I am disappointed that the Lane character is gone. Didn't like him, but he had grown, especially in the second season. So
didn't you just contradict yourself?
I probably did. Why? Explain them
Didn't you
peas to
just
me,
say?
Lucy.
Didn't you say that you weren't mad that they killed Lane and now
Oh no, I was mad at myself because I didn't see the signs.
you were mad at yourself because you
Yeah,
didn't see the signs,
yeah.
but you weren't mad that they killed him, but now you are sad that they killed him.
I'm sad that they
You're
killed off.
sad but not mad.
Yeah, I'm not mad because
The
I,
two okay. I
I,
understand that.
yeah,
I understand that. I feel that too.
yeah. I probably, if it would have come out of nowhere, I would have been angry, probably. But no, they set this up, and that's when I'm like, oh man, I didn't see it.
It's like the sixth sense when you see it and, and then you go, why didn't I see it? Why didn't
Yeah,
I see it? I didn't
and
see
that's
it.
that's good drama. That's good writing. That they
Mm.
didn't come out of just anywhere.
Hope you
They
didn't
were
chase
growing.
Elizabeth away. If it is, it's your fault.
I'm still here. Give me a minute.
Oh,
I'm just
1001
giving Roger.
Dalmatians.
He's timing himself.
No, I'm timing her because this is what
Timing
I
her.
do. Arc 54 knows that.
Oh my
When someone
gosh.
says, "Give me a second," 1, 2, 3, 4. See, whenever I was at work and someone, or I would have to go outside
Is
and get
this the
someone,
ARC or a relationship program?
yeah, and I flashed it on screen. So
You flashed on screen, really?
the
I missed
comment
it.
I flashed on screen.
Is this the ARC or a relationship program?
So I'm glad I was the one that brought up Juno this time. I saved you from it.
Yes, I shall return. It
Okay.
is always on my mind.
Oh, you returned with 27 seconds. I'm impressed.
He was timing you. Isn't that sad?
Typical
You seem
mouse.
shocked.
Do I get
You
to
seem
thank
shocked.
him?
Do I see Chopped? Yes. The show?
No, I said you seem shocked
Oh, no.
because I was timing her. That's all right.
I was
So, what else?
surprised.
What else you guys want to go over?
I want to know what's going to happen next. No, I don't want to know, but I'm anticipating the next episode. Is anybody not going to watch the preview for next episode?
Oh, I did. I saw it.
You did?
I saw it.
You saw it. I
I
haven't
already
seen
did.
it. I didn't.
I've seen the next. I've seen the last 3 previews. I'm like, oh man, I don't think I want to. I don't want to do that
So what'd you do it for?
because I was watching the episode, the end credit hit, and then the teaser or the preview for next week, and I'm like, do I want to move and reach for the control or just wait for it to finish?
Close
I
your eyes
will
and plug
wait.
your ears.
There you go.
I watched it. It was over before you could say anything. So we'll
I
see.
haven't. I haven't watched it. I'm
Good for
not sure
you.
if I will.
I'm glad you didn't.
Okay. What about you, Liz? Did you
You know
watch?
why, Marcia?
Oh
What?
yeah.
Do you know why?
Hmm.
Because I was right.
Ooh. Hmm. Well, since I don't listen to anything you said, I have no idea what that means. So
I mean, well, I'm
don't,
not
don't,
going to.
don't.
Right. I'm not. I was going to say, I'm not going to give up when I mentioned earlier something, but
Okay.
He
of the
needs to come and float
90,
once in a while.
of the 9,988 items I've mentioned this season,
Hmm.
I got one right. So, and it'll be next week. So it was good. All right. Arc
Okay.
54, anything else?
No, I think that was it.
Elizabeth?
We covered a lot.
Yeah, we did. Did you guys
More than I
notice that
wanted
this
to.
was the first time they referred to the conference room as the ready room?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, let's go to the ready room. I'm like, it's about time, Janeway. So, yeah, it was the first time they referred to the conference room as the ready room, which I was like, all right, he's all right. Okay, it was good. Did you guys want to grade the episode? And I will start with Arc 54 on this one. Car 54, where are you?
I always think that when you say that.
I know. I do too. Uh, I give it a good solid A.
Okay, Marcia.
A.
Elizabeth.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and give it an A plus. As much as I love Lane, as much as wrecked as I am to see him go, I just, I mean, like I said, I feel like they've been holding out on me all season to do all this at once. You know, I still.
There was a lot in this episode.
I loved Red Dwarf. I know what you're smacking.
I think it would be very easy to give it an A. I am with Elizabeth on this one. This episode is not a tour de force, but it is impressive. There's a lot to like. There are tiny qualms that I mentioned earlier about timeline issues. Who cares? This was a good episode. It touched you. It made you worry. You had no idea what was going to happen.
Yeah.
That's wonderful drama. That's why we're invested as fans. I mentioned my qualm and I let it go. That's it. There's a lot to like here. I'm giving it an A plus.
And now I know all bets are off. Anything can happen
At any time.
Here we go.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I say, I'm saddened that Lane is gone as we know him, but he's not. The liver's still there.
Wow.
Well, if the liver
Did you know
starts
they're
to
making
pop
a
out and talk,
Is everybody going to be in it? Everybody who's Danny John and crew.
Well, hopefully she'll be able to respond.
Mhm.
All right. Well, we did go through a lot. Hopefully, Elizabeth, it wasn't overtly frightening to you, and I hope you
Yay.
enjoyed your first episode with us.
So far, so good. Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you all for
Hopefully,
having
Thank
me.
you for
no, you're
coming.
fun.
hopefully you will join us again,
Thank you.
and we'll see. And I appreciate your comments as well. And may I embarrass you a little bit, Elizabeth?
If you must.
Awesome.
Elizabeth sent me a note.
Oh dear.
May I? Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. If you say no, it's all good because they have not seen it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I don't know if I can access it right here. I can access it through my phone,
Oh, good.
and I don't have my phone with me. This is funny.
I mean, I can read it. I have it on my.
Oh, I have. Okay, here we go. Whoa. Why don't I have the entire thing?
Go get
You know
it.
what? For some reason
Cat ate
on
it.
On
with the hairball
Facebook,
on it.
I don't have the entire thing. I only have after I said yes. So, I think it would be great if you read it then.
All right,
Would you?
I will. Let me pull it up.
I don't know why I'm not able to access it.
I said, and I quote, Roger, I've seen some pretty boring, bordering on painful interviews elsewhere with some of these cast members, these same cast members, where they get stuck answering or avoiding, because they can't give any spoilers, the same boring questions over and over. Not the case with NDB. You all ask such insightful questions, you make people feel at home. And it's clearly a better experience for them as well as for the fans. And I can't thank all of you enough for what all of you do.
That's sweet. Thank you, Elizabeth. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
when did I write that? Oh, after Christy on Friday night, I was thinking about it after she was done, and I'm like, well, yeah.
I kid you not.
That's
For some
awesome.
reason, I'm able to access it through my phone, but I'm not able to access it through my desktop right now, and I don't know why. Maybe it hasn't updated or something, but I'm really surprised.
Yeah.
But
And I did, and then when you said thank you for that, I said you're welcome, and please pass it on to everybody. So here I am passing it on. So,
Your contributions add so much to our fan groups.
I to myself, I find that I'm a lot when I can type, when I can write, I feel like I'm more articulate somehow. I feel right. I mean, like I feel like I've been a bumbling idiot now for the last hour and a half talking to you all because I just I mean that's my MO, but just that y'all welcome me in and put up with some of my weird jokes. I know Marcia especially has seen some of my funny jokes. We laugh at them, and some unfunny jokes and you can laugh at them. So I thank you all for putting up with that. So.
I'm expecting you to take a bow shortly.
Oh, well, that would be my third. So.
All right, that's fair. Well, again, I genuinely very good. I thank you for joining us, and it's absolutely awesome. So, folks, I think we're going to call it at this point. And like I said, we have a lot of stuff on the network. Head on over to ndbmedia.net, and you can check out everything that's going on. But for us right now, this is the Sunday Night Review. I want to thank everyone. And, Sonia, thank you for giving us a like on the episode as well. So we're up to 3. So makes the old people feel good, which is me. Everyone else, second star to the right and straight on to morning.
Until morning.